the Bowels of Netflix, where your fearless co-hosts Isaac and Larry force each other to watch the worst pieces of shit on Netflix. We will go over every bad edit, all the broken dialogue, all the wooden acting, and laugh along the way, because this is the Bowels of Netflix! Alright, and welcome to the Bowels of Netflix. I am Isaac, and with me, as always, is my fearless co-host, Larry. How are you doing this week, Larry?
I hate Christmas.
Okay. This is July.
Yes.
Oh, it's Christmas in July. I almost forgot. Darn tootin'. Ho, ho, ho.
Yes. How are you?
I've been a good boy this year. Santa's definitely going to bring me my present, which is...
Sir, please get off my lap. I'm an adult and you're an adult. This is unbecoming. Please get off my lap.
My Christmas list I sent to Santa was just tight assholes. So I'm not sure how that's going to come down the chimney.
Just in a sack. Oh, God, that sounds awful and bloody.
No, if I just had like a line of tight assholes.
It is a wonder that you are a happily married man, I assume.
Happy? No. Happily married? Maybe. We'll see. There's still time.
Only time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah. Again, Santa. A row of tight assholes.
Just lined up.
Yep.
And he wants them to be anime girls too. That's the only thing Isaac can fantasize about.
No. I'm just picturing like you know how like you see the inside of a 747 Boeing jetliner where there's like just a whole switchboard of buttons and stuff. It'd be like that, but assholes. And like each one would be a little bit different, like a little tighter, a little looser, a little pinker, you know.
Isaac?
Yep.
Who are we?
We're the Bowels of Netflix.
Let me just save you from yourself.
Oh, we're two miserable old men who make each other watch terrible movies on Netflix, and you get to hear us describe them in excruciating detail. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. Send us an email, bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Do the rating, do the subscribing, do the telling all your friends and family, especially your dirty fucking grandmother. God, she's filthy. Tell her all about this show and make her listen. She's gonna love it. Hi, Grandma.
You know, it was funny. We were talking about fetishes before we started recording. I guess not technically, but kind of. And you didn't mention grandmas, but it's good to know.
No, I mean, there's gilf porn.
Yes, I mean, I know that. I know that.
Every once in a while, I will come across, like, a 70-year-old lady doing a porno video and just watch it not to be aroused, but just to watch it to feel sad, I guess. So, there's that.
Well, yeah, there is that. Hey, you know, some days, I like pizza most days. Every now and then I want to have a pear.
Yeah, every now and then I want to have some leather that's been soaking in a trash can full of water for several years.
That kind of is what the human body is. It's just a trash can full of water.
Yeah, actually.
Mine is full to bursting.
Jesus. Okay, we've had enough sadness for this episode.
Boy, it is starting off sad.
What Christmas extravaganza are you covering this week, Larry?
You know what's a bad sign? When a friend hears that you're doing this movie and specifically reaches out to tell you how excited they are because they've seen it and it's terrible. Which really just solidifies the fact that you've made a long series of mistakes in your life that leads up to this point.
Well, that's certainly true.
I am doing the Princess Switched again.
Okay, so they've switched once.
Yeah.
And now they're switching again.
Yeah. You may recall, listeners, that when we started Christmas in July a couple weeks ago, Isaac gave me the choice of what Christmas movie to watch.
You can't blame me for this.
I mean, I can blame you for the selection. The selection was all terrible. But
no, it was just whatever prince or princess movies there were.
The selection was all terrible. Let's not kid ourselves. But I had to do your job for you and obviously give me the sequel without seeing the original.
I'm honestly just lazy.
Yeah, because come on now, let's not kid ourselves here. So yes, this is the sequel to The Princess Switch. Both are Netflix originals. If you actually go into Netflix, it is the Princess Switch collection. I don't know if they'll do a 3, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Even switchier.
So yeah, let's try and get this over with quick. God damn it. So yeah, 2020 American Christmas romantic comedy.
Your favorite.
My favorite.
Romantic comedies. They're so funny and they're so romantic.
Isaac, my favorite. Oh, there is a third film in the series. That's great. It's coming. It's not out yet, but it's been ordered. They ordered it in November 2020. I missed that the first time. Great.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm excited for Christmas in December.
I hope it's... The first movie was not a Christmas movie, so I don't think it's a foregone conclusion the second one is going to be a Christmas movie. I don't think the first...
like a Flag Day movie?
I actually don't... Best holiday. I don't think there's going to be a third... Or I don't think the first one was Christmas. I don't actually know because I didn't watch it and never will. And never
Arbor
will.
Day.
And never... Arbor Day.
The Princess Switch up in the trees.
The IMDb rating for this movie is a 5.4 out of 10 with over 8,000 reviews. Oh, IMDb got a facelift since I was here last. It's cute. It stars... Oh, boy. IMDb looks way different. It may take me a second to find the stuff I'm looking for now. I think it's changed since I actually looked at the budget last. Okay. The estimated budget was $10 million. That tracks. The lead actress who plays 3 roles in this movie is a woman named Vanessa Hudgens. We'll get into her a little bit, but she was in something. She was like a major role in High School Musical. She was one of the stars in High School Musical, so that's her claim to fame.
I thought I had heard the name.
It did seem vaguely familiar to me. She's in some other movies and stuff, but that's the one that sticks out. Oh, she was also in
Princess
Switch
Switch movies. I don't know how well her career's
Well,
going.
I mean, they're Netflix originals. A $10 million budget. I mean, I think that... Here's the thing, Isaac.
She's much more wealthy than we are.
We have to remember that we're not the intended audience for... Well, I'm not the intended audience for literally anything. So...
Well, okay, yeah.
I think the first one... If I remember correctly, the first one actually had decent reviews. Now, it's a fucking romance movie, so obviously there's no way I'm ever going to like it. Ugh. But... I think it may have done well, so I don't know. But yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 58% of the tomato meter and a 35% audience score, so yikes. And I mean, I think the 35 is accurate. I don't know. New York Times gave this a positive review? Jesus Christ. Vox?
Really?
Well, Vox didn't show
Well, people might be bribed. That's always a thing. Here's $50,000 to say this movie was okay.
Yeah, isn't that illegal?
Probably.
I don't care.
Do you know how many things are illegal, but people do them anyway? Like hookers and cocaine?
And blow, yeah. Fuck, people can blow. All right, well, I kind of just want to... Honestly, this one did not inspire anything in me. I feel like...
You're just like dead inside.
A man who's been taking a bunch of tranquilizers. I also had a terrible week and a bad day, and I got a new vacuum and vacuumed because my vacuum has been broken, and I am a man with many allergies and also lingering asthma from my youth, and I took a big blast of dust to the face, so I feel like... I feel like a mummy.
I feel like cocaine.
I feel like a dead man. So
let me mail you some cocaine and a hot dog real quick.
Can you mail them together? Can I snort a hot dog flavored cocaine? That's my favorite Korn album, hot dog flavored cocaine. That's not Korn.
Have you ever had
Limp Bizkit?
Oh, yeah, that is a Limp Bizkit. Have you ever had like Pig in a Blanket where the hot dog's slit open and cheese is stuffed in there?
No, but don't make me hungry.
No, and then you wrap it in like a Pillsbury Doughboy croissant thing.
That sounds incredible.
It's the white trashiest dinner that I enjoyed as a youth.
I am the fattest I have ever been. Please stop.
But we can do that, except the cheese will be cocaine and you'll lose weight because cocaine.
I mean, technically that is accurate.
It very much is. I think we should start a diet cult
based
on cocaine hot dogs.
I'm in. I'll join that.
All right. Sounds good. We'll be skinny and we'll be cult leaders.
Yeah, I could lead a cult. I could definitely be the number 2.
Could we co-lead a cult?
I think you should
lead
lead
it.
It's like
a show, like we're co-hosts. There's not like a host and a co-host. We're both the host.
It's
Could
true.
We
although
tag team a cult.
I'd love to make you the official host, so that way I could get away with many crimes in your name. But yeah, no.
My lawyers have advised against that. We both go down with the ship.
I don't think those raccoons in your trash can are technically lawyers. I think their law degree is suspect.
Hey, Rudy Giuliani is a perfectly competent raccoon,
and this which says leagues and leagues about his humanity. Okay, so yeah, I just want to get this over with. This is going to be a fucking pill to swallow.
Let me spread open for you.
Isaac, are you exceptionally horny today? More so than normal?
Well, I was going to answer yes, but then when you added the more so than normal, I was like, well, no.
Okay.
I'm just perpetually exceptionally horny.
Well, yeah, I mean, so am I, but, you seem like you want to bang me. More so than normal.
My cock throbs for thee.
I thought it was weird when you put that in your wedding speech, but hey, they were beautiful vows. And beautiful, confusing vows. All right, fucking Princess Switch 2, the Nintendo Switch. By the way, I did not watch it on the Nintendo Switch purely because I'm lazy. So, sorry I didn't get the full Princess Switch experience.
You fucker.
So we jump right in with a little animated recap while we get an overview of what happened in Princess Switch 1. Mercifully, they actually recap that movie instead of just telling me to fuck myself and figure it out. Thanks, Pupstar. Fucking turd. So, anyway, here's the skinny. There's this baker... By the way, there's a lot of names in this movie, and I opted to keep them as their names because if they got any more confusing, it would be even worse.
Fair enough.
There is one character who has a name that rotates, but we'll get to that. So there's this baker named... So basically, I'm telling you to pay closer attention than you might normally. There's a baker named Stacy who lives in Chicago. She flies She flies to a made-up country somewhere in Europe called Belgravia to enter a baking contest.
Fuck is with these fake countries whenever there's a prince or a princess? Is it like a legal thing?
I think I want to say Church of England. I think English royalty takes offense to that. And then, nobody wants to piss off English royalty for some reason. I don't know.
Because Prince William's going to get you.
Prince Andrew's going to rape you.
Well, no.
He's a terrible man who belongs in jail. Let's not forget that.
Have you been an adolescent girl? Then Prince Andrew has probably raped you.
Ugh, Jesus Christ. This world is awful. For reasons that will become abundantly clear, I'm going to only refer to Belgravia as Little England from now on, because clearly they meant this to be in England, but nobody wanted to... Well, anyway, we'll get to it.
Okay.
While Stacy, the baker from Chicago, is there, she switches places with the Duchess of Montenegro. I don't know what Montenegro is. It is
another fake country.
It's never explained, and when we get to the end of this movie, you're going to see why I am exceptionally confused about it. The Duchess of Montenegro is named Margaret, and for reasons that Isaac will appreciate, I'm going to call her Margie, like our rats.
Aww. Yeah. Speaking of which, does Stacy's mom have it going on?
Stacy's mom does not appear in the movie, but I assume that she does indeed have it going on.
Oh, she's probably
Thank you for a reference that nobody under the age of 20 is going to possibly understand.
Hi, Gen Z.
No one under the age of 20 should be listening to this podcast because I say words that you shouldn't hear. So I'm going to call Margaret, the Duchess of Montenegro, Margie. No word exactly on why they trade places, but I guess, it's probably explained in the first. I'll give them credit that I'm sure there's a reason in the first movie. They just don't say. They just do it. In that time, while they switch, Stacy falls in love with Prince Edward, who I guess was just there or whatever. While pretending to be Margie, the two of them fall in love. During my first watching, for some reason, I assumed that Margie and Edward were siblings, but it would seem kind of weird if he fell in love with his sibling accidentally, thinking it was his sister. So, I don't know. The relationship between them is ambiguous, like between Margaret and Edward, but I could have looked it up, and I didn't, because absolutely fuck you. I don't know. But and long story short, Stacy is now married to Prince Edward. Remember. And Margie, is in a relationship with Stacy's best friend, Kevin. So they switched lives and basically hooked up with each other's besties or whatever. I don't know.
I'm already confused, but okay.
Oh, it only gets so much worse.
Well, it gets even switchier.
So much worse. Like I said, while Margie is pretending to be a filthy commoner, she gets down and dirty with Stacy's friend Kevin, a single dad to my favorite character in the entire franchise. Because of how important she is, I'm going to call her Unimportant Daughter. I never learned her name. Her name will change as the review goes on, so keep that in mind. We then learn about the in-between of the movie. Apparently the king crapped out and died like a punk bitch, so now Margaret is in line for the throne. Peerage alert! Okay, I really just wanted to say peerage. I don't actually fucking know how royalty works because it's absurd. The English royal system is more complicated than the inside of the human ear. It's just a bunch of meaningless rich people with meaningless titles that, frankly, I've never quite understood.
And they're all inbred.
Any knowledge that I have of how royalty works comes from Netflix's The Crown, which is an interesting show because I don't know anything about it, and I'm a history dork, so I like learning that. And it's decently well made. But I hate the whole royalty system and the whole idea that they're like what's the word? Famous for nothing. Like the Prince and Meghan Markle and all that shit. They literally have no reason to be famous whatsoever, and it drives me insane. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
In America, we just have the Jersey Shore and the Kardashians.
Yeah, I don't like them either. I mean, let's not be real here. But I am an American, royalty. And I do feel some weird innate need to hate English royalty and want to rebel against them. I don't know why.
Kill the king!
So yeah, but my question is thus: if the king croaked and Stacey is married to a prince, wouldn't he be next in line before a duchess? Because Margie was his daughter, the king's daughter. She would be a princess. I think right. She may also be a duchess. Like, you can be multiple things, but I think you're called the title that trumps. Because I think Queen Elizabeth is also like a viscount or a duchess or some shit. I don't fucking know. It's really
her route to the throne was kind of weird.
My complaining aside, it is obscenely complicated.
Yeah,
like really, truly, it is ridiculous.
But yeah, so the princess wasn't the daughter of the king, right?
Well, no, she's not a princess, but she is going to be queen. They mentioned, I mentioned later on. I don't know. It's never really explained. They mentioned later on that there's some dude named, I think, Harry, but I might be thinking of the real Prince Harry.
Probably.
That decided not to become king, so it's now going to be Margie instead. But I don't know if Edward is a prince. I don't know why he's not taking it first, because I think prince trumps duchess in like the line of peerage.
I'm already burned out. I can't.
Fuck, exactly. Look, that's really doesn't. It never comes up again. Like, it's just a foregone conclusion. Margie's going to be queen. But it's confusing if she's a duchess, why she's now becoming queen. But whatever. On top of all of that, this unexpected royalty throws a wrench into her, plan of continuing to boink Kevin into the sunset, as apparently now they're not together anymore since she became actual royalty. We also see that apparently royal life is causing strain on the marriage of Stacey and Edward. Again, I know there's a lot of characters. This is a sequel to a romance movie where there is nothing but dialogue and nothing happens.
Oh my God.
So we cut out of our animated recap and cut to real life. We see there's a new baking competition ending because Stacey is a baker, ostensibly, and that's how she got involved in this fucking royalty thing anyway. Stacey is the new HPOC, head princess on campus, and she's the new judge of this baking competition. She gives a little Christmas spiel as she talks about baking and the champions. She mentions the winner of this year's cake competition was someone she competed against in movie 1. We never see him again, so I'm not sure why they mentioned him. I guess that's a fun callback if you're a big Princess Switch head. We also see that husband Prince Edward arrives at the fabulous palace this is taking place in front of. And by the way, this whole movie takes place in the palaces of the ludicrously wealthy and deep-seated English, air quotes, royalty, because they're in Belgravia. I think I saw that it was shot in Romania, which sounds like a place that's full of palaces, so I guess, whatever. But
sounds about right.
No person who appears in this movie, except for, like, the butler and the head maid, are anything but ludicrously wealthy beyond my wildest dreams.
So it's a relatable movie. It's like Waitress or whatever.
It's real relatable, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was like even she was a baker, and even we'll see she was fabulously wealthy before too. But anyway, we'll get to that. Something the common man could never hope to achieve is everything we see. Just gigantic stone behemoths that swallow up the poor to churn the blood and despair that the rich need to drink to survive, or something like that. Also, there is one reason this movie was Christmas decorations. The Christmas decorations in this movie are breathtaking. They are enough to melt the heart of the blackest man. The blackest... Oh, no, we got to cut that line because I said it wrong. We need to cut that line.
No. What you meant.
No,
the blackest
it's
soul.
I just muddled up the words. We have to do that again. God damn it.
It was an honest mistake, Larry.
Oh, it is enough. It is enough to melt the blackest heart of any man.
I think everyone knows that was an honest slip and not a Freudian slip.
I'm so sorry. I may insist you cut this. I don't know yet. So yeah, these clearly this is what all the focus of the movie went to. And I don't love Christmas. I know, shocker. But I do like Christmas lights. I'm not that sallow of a soul. And it is fucking outrageous. I mean, it is just old stone, like 1500s modernized English palaces that are like absolutely covered in hundreds of thousands of dollars of Christmas decoration. It is truly a sight to behold. So it looks great. I mean, it is phenomenal. They did a 14 out of 10 job on that. Clearly, that is the focus,
Larry, but okay.
Clearly, that is where like all the focus went into, and they do that well. I mean, I'll give it to them there. It is
Fair
out
enough.
of this world. So Edward and Stacy talk. Eddie seems upset that since he isn't picking up the slack of the dead king, and Stacy has thrown herself fully into the work of a modern royal, which essentially is just a glorified ribbon cutter who is obscenely wealthy for no fucking reason.
Yep.
They haven't had time to bone down on the reg and give the underpaid and mostly underappreciated servants something to titter about after hearing Stacy's shrieks of ecstasy from the royal cock. I think that might be the longest sentence I've ever written looking at it. Jesus Christ.
The royal cock.
Stacy reassures Eddie they will spend more time together, but notes that she's worried about Margie since now Margie is slated to be queen despite never wanting the spotlight. Again, I'm guessing more of this would be made clear by the first movie, but fuck off and die, I'm never watching that. Apparently Margie's coronation is planned for Christmas Day. Some other prince, like I said, there was some other prince that also abdicated, but they never really touched on that again, so who gives a fuck. Eddie actually tries to get Stacy to go for a ride on the royal pony, but since she's so consumed with Margie, she isn't catching these subtle Disney Channel hints about doing all the romance stuff people do in movies when they want to have sex. Unlike animals like us, who rut like pigs in the bushes. Oink,
Yeah,
oink,
I mean-
Isaac. Oink, oink.
When I'm down to play, I just get out a megaphone and be like, 6, 6. And the wife comes a running.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sex with you must be amazing because there is no other reason any human would tolerate you. You
Yeah.
absolute mad lad.
I just do play-by-play. And Isaac thrusts again, even harder than before. Yet at the same time, he's aware of how weak and old his legs are.
Next time you do that, can you do a John Madden voice while you do so? Anyway, Stacy keeps going on about how sad she is that Kevin, her best friend, broke up with Margie when she got thrust into the limelight. Eddie tries to tell her that sometimes people just go their separate ways, but Stacy says, according to Kevin's unimportant daughter, Kevin still pines for his long-lost royal Margie. Stacy decides she's going to go and swing by Chicago to scoop up Kevin and unimportant doll hair and thrust them in front of Margie to rekindle their torrid affair betwixt royal and commoner. Eddie looks crestfallen that he won't be able to A, plow his wife, and B, spend any actual quality time with her, which is, I guess, the thing that people also care about. I wouldn't know.
Wait, sex and quality time are different?
I just like to hear Isaac giggle, folks. I'm sorry. Love is important, and getting to spend time with those we love is a precious, precious resource. Believe me, I know. So Stacy shoots over to Chicago, home of the stupid and shitty pack of losers that is the Chicago Bears. Sorry,
Hey,
Bears fans. I bleed green and gold when I remember that football even exists. So anyway, we see friend Kevin's little bakery, currently manned by uninspiring daughter. She and her dad are super happy to see Stacy, since apparently they're business partners, air quotes. Stacy notes that Kevin is dressed comfortably, by which I mean dressed like a slob in a sweatsuit. Unimportant dog turd mentions that Kev hasn't been on a date since Margie broke his heart by agreeing to become queen. And by the way, this bakery is gigantic. It is the largest bakery that's ever existed that's not like a commercial bakery that makes rolls for like, sandwich shops and shit. It is the largest like artisanal bakery that's ever been. And it is also dressed to the nines in Christmas shit.
Of course.
So the Kevin mentions that he's become a crazy cat man as he is collecting cats to fill the Margie-shaped hole in his bed. Heart. Fuck. Stacy reminds him that he was the one who did plot stuff in the first movie to set Stacy off towards Little England, so to return the favor, she is officially inviting him to come to the coronation to have a chance to win back his beloved Margie. Kevin has a pretty scruffy beard and backwards hat, to be fair, he doesn't really look like royalty material, but hey, what do I know? There's some back and forth here between Stacy and Kev, an unimpertinent doppelganger, and eventually Kev is browbeaten to go to Little England and try to get back to Margie's good titties. Graces! Fuck! God damn it, you're rubbing off on me all over my face. Fuck shit ass.
Got a lot of Freudian nipples in here. Slipples. Whatever. I don't know. Slip and slide. Suck on that cigar, Freud.
I don't know why we are allowed to have a podcast.
Sometimes a cigar is just a dick. A big, wet, brown dick.
You're not wrong. Back in Little England, Stacy and Edward, with Kevin and unintelligible doublespeak in tow, meet up with Margie. I want to take a brief minute to talk about the main actress in this movie who is going to play all three main roles. Her name is Vanessa Hudgens. I mentioned that earlier. And
the Hudge, as I call her.
Yeah, I looked through Google reviews and I had found one I liked, but then my computer restarted and I couldn't find it, so I don't have one today. But I thought a lot of people were, I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm going to defend her acting. I thought it was not bad. But people really came down and said her acting was terrible. I think the problem is that Margie and Stacy are the most unimportant, boring pieces of shit to ever exist. Okay. But I have a lot of nice things to say about her as the villain, because she's also the villain in this movie. So she has a lot of screen time because she plays three parts. She plays Stacy, Margaret, and we're going to see she also plays the villain Fiona. And Stacy and Margaret are basically interchangeable. I mean, they're both royalty now. One is a baker from Chicago, and one is a fake English royal. But, like, she keeps them distinct enough that you can tell who is who by the way she talks. And the accent helps, obviously. But, like, I think she does, for as much screen time as she has, I think she does pretty good. And I like the villain quite a bit. We'll get to that when we get to it.
And
but
playing multiple roles in the same movie is not an easy task.
She puts in the work, for sure. Yeah. And they do it very cleverly, where when she's on screen with both characters, there's like enough space in between so you can do the shot without it doesn't look awkward ever. They always do the camera in such a way that you don't see the face of the other one, or if they're both in shot together and you can see their face, they're like spaced far enough apart so you can have the shot be very clean. So like you can do it and you can just have a stationary camera, have them both on separate sides, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So I didn't see, because I kept an eye out for that of like, am I going to see the double's like weird, Nazi tattoo in the back of her head or something?
Right.
But no, I think they did a good job of that.
Joseph Mengele, I found a new career.
Oh my God.
As a stunt double for Christmas movies.
I'm going to smash your microphone, Michael.
It's not quite as exciting as Evil Scientist, but, it pays the bills.
I know you're in Israeli prison. I don't know how you keep getting on this podcast. You're an old man and should be dead. So, the two lookalikes reconnect, and we also meet the two head servants, a man and a woman, who apparently are from the first movie and seem to be our hero group's closest confidants. They don't matter for the entirety of this movie up until the end, and I'm just probably going to try not to talk about them ever again. But they are in it a lot, so I don't care. Kev and Margie finally reconnect and are polite, but immediately start to rekindle their old love affair. The massive, mind-boggling palace that Margie now lives in, since her dad and/or monarch, fucking dropped dead. Everything is covered up in dark because she doesn't feel like celebrating Christmas in the wake of the tragedy of her maybe father, ?
What the fuck?
Our plucky band of heroes convinces her they need to decorate the place, however, and everybody puts up all the magnificent and ridiculous decorations up in the massive cavernous palace over some Christmas music montage. Kevin and Margie get in some quality romantic looks of longing across the halls at one another. Words cannot describe the decorations in this palace. It's literally like nothing I've ever seen before. If you're into that sort of thing, this is definitely for you, because it is goddamn unbelievable, the amount of Christmas decorations that they put into this. And it all works. It's not gaudy at all. It's well, except for the one part where it's meant to be gaudy on purpose. So they set designers home run. After they're done decorating, and by them I mean mostly the army of servants and guards and a little bit of them, Unbelievable Dogecoin plots to get her dad and Margie alone to make cocoa in the kitchen so they can have relationship rekindling time. There's a lot of that in this movie, and most of it's pretty generic and uninspired. They go into the kitchen that's bigger than my entire house and end up having a food fight before they get interrupted by Tony, a young, handsome man who is Margie's major domo, or, head counselor, basically. He's like her, assistant. Assistant is probably the best word for it.
Okay.
Tony,
a food fight?
Yeah, they, fight with sugar. She drops sugar on him. They're reaching up to get a bag of sugar, and she drops it on him. Or, flour. Not sugar, flour. Okay. And she drops flour on him, and then he, throws some at her, and they have a giggly flour fight.
Right, so. And they fuck each other with hot dogs.
No.
What?
They're rich, Isaac. They don't know what a hot dog is. They couldn't find a hot dog on the map.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Tony clearly disapproves of Kev immediately and draws Margie away to do important queen business. The two of them talk about the business of queening the country. We learn that Margie is insecure about running the country, even though queens don't run the country, and doesn't like that nobody seems to trust her to do the job. I mean, she wasn't really meant to do the job in the first place. It hasn't been that long yet. Also, she's going to go from being a royal, which is a glorified ribbon cutter, to a queen, which is a ribbon cutter with extra steps. So there's probably going to be a learning curve, I guess. Stacy just, like, wanders into the scene and drops a bunch of ornaments. She sort of stammers and makes up a reason why she's there, but, like, she and Margie are best friends. This is just a regular old room. It's not like she walked in on Margie taking a shit or something. I get what they're going for because, like, Tony is, like, kisses her hand, Margie's hand, but, like, she's a queen, basically. She's like a day away from being queen. That's like a thing people do, isn't it? They're trying to set up that Stacy is trying to hook Margie up with Kevin. I'm pounding my desk because I'm mad. Stacy's trying to hook Margie up with Kevin, and she sees Tony, like, kissing Margie's hand in, like, a way that a servant does to a queen, because we still have fucking queens for some reason. And she gets all like, oh no, what if she's got another man she's sacking up with? Sacking. I don't know. I'm irritated and Christmas sucks.
I'm very confused by everything so far.
Don't worry. Isaac, it gets so much worse.
Fuck's sake.
I know. I thought about this before I did in between watchings. I really thought about how I can try and parse this down, and I don't know. I just don't know. Especially when they start switching places, it just gets worse. Stacy and Margie reconvene later on in the royal bedroom. Stacy confronts Margie about Tony, asking what the deal is, since she is trying to hook Margie and Kevin back up in beautiful interracial pile of limbs and Christmas fluids. I don't know. I regret it. I regret
Christmas
saying
fluids.
it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm struggling.
Santa makes the elves sneeze on his cock for lube.
I hate that you said that. I hate that is a thing you said.
You're welcome. May that brighten your dreams in this Christmas season.
Hard to make them worse. Margie says nothing is going on with Tony, but she isn't really interested in Kev either since they broke up, and she's not really thrilled to jump back into a relationship with. At a party that night, Stacy and Edward are gross and lovey-dovey before Ubermensch, Stockefraulein, and Kev interrupt. Margie appears in full fantastical princess regalia and boogies down on the dance floor with Kev after he sacks up and asks her to dance. That's why sacks up was in my head. Tony, however, comes up to her and also makes a move with his fancy Britishness, telling her that he is the most beautiful. He's the most beautiful queen. She is the most beautiful queen in Little English history, and generally trying to British her off her feet. Kev and Margie chat while they dance. Margie is relieved they're still friends despite falling out over her becoming queen, and they're clearly getting closer to Bone Town, or love, whatever.
It's one and the same. Don't
Stacey
don't get all liberal on me.
Stacy and Eddie are approving of their work when in walks the weird cousin, which is the third woman played by Vanessa Hudgens in this movie. Because in case you forgot the hook of this movie, the hook is that a third switch comes into play. So
even
guess
switchier.
What? The evil switcher is named Fiona, and she is, I want to say, an evil millennial. I don't really, because she is like, she has her own theme song. No words to it.
Theme song? Yeah, a fucking wrestler coming down to the ring.
Basically, no. I mean, it's in the soundtrack. It's not like she doesn't have it like playing from a trumpet.
The Imperial March.
That would be amazing. No, it's like I don't know how to like an evil salsa. I don't. Yeah. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Evil salsa.
I don't know what else.
That's spicy enough to blow my asshole out for 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she's sort of like she uses millennial words and she's taking selfies, but she's
like trill.
Yeah, she says. Wait, where is it? She says spoopy, which is the worst thing the internet has created.
Is that what? That's a thing?
It's spooky.
But spoopy?
Spoopy. It's just changing the second P in or changing the K in spooky to a P.
Now, is that because spook is a racial slur?
If it is, I've not heard that. It's it's just one of those cutesy twee internet things people say, and I hate it.
I'm sad. I'm sad about it.
I know. So yeah, but she's just sort of like rude but like I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, that's evil millennial is the best description I have for her.
Fair enough.
She has two goons that are sort of inept evil millennials that are pretty much her only connections, a man and a woman.
Goons?
Yeah, she has goons. The goons are mildly more entertaining than most of the other characters, albeit very mildly.
Goons usually are.
But I refuse to add any more names to the already bloated pool of names, so they're just male and female goon. Fiona rolls into the party and immediately stinks it up with her brash millennialness, calling Margie Maggie Poo. Or no, Maggie Moo. I'm thinking about Spoopy and taking selfies with her.
And the Christmas kittens.
Spoopy and the Christmas Spooply.
Spoop.
She's taking selfies with her and making fun of her and generally being fabulous. I got to admit here, I was definitely clinging to Scraps, but I kind of like Fiona. And like I said, they're all played by one actress. And like I said earlier, more or less, Margie and Stacy are functionally identical. Obviously, they look the same because they're the same fucking woman. But personality-wise, they're both kind, sweet, caring women who are like cut-and-paste characters in any romance movie.
Right.
Stacy has a little bit of Chicago Americanness in her, and Margie is all prim and proper English, but they're generic romance movie people. You could throw J-Lo from that fucking J-Lo movie in here, and it'd be the same thing.
Anaconda.
That's the one, the Anaconda verse. We know it's big, and this movie is technically a part of it by a cameo later. But the Fiona and her goons, on the other hand, are goddamn Team Rocket. And I love it. Like, the ridiculous, over-the-top, nonsensical goons, just their evil scheme they think up in a few scenes from now is so laughable and ridiculous that I actually root for them to win. They don't even get close to winning. I don't know. Just something about the presentation of this hit me where I lived because, like, it seems very out of place for what is otherwise the most cut-and-paste romance story that every romance movie ultimately is the same thing. And then it's just like, seriously, fucking huck Team Rocket into the middle of that.
I appreciate some good gooning.
They're not phenomenal, but in the context of this movie, they're very phenomenal. So,
yeah, and just anything that breaks the mold a little bit from a royalty Christmas movie.
And I think the fact that I get not one but two examples of Vanessa Hudgens being the very boring cookie-cutter romance character to being this, like, over-the-top ridiculous villain all in the same movie I appreciate it. I think it's a good contrast and probably is better than the first movie just for that alone.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, yeah, and just it endeared me more so just because it's so out of place. It worked. I don't know. This movie is ass, and I don't like it. But the parts with Fiona and her goons were pretty solid. So Fiona and Margie talk. Fiona calls Margie her cuzzy, a word that makes me uncomfortable for a reason I don't fully understand.
Yeah, that's like
ironic. I know, right? It's something about it is like gives me the shivers.
It sounds like a sex, like a name for a sex part.
Yes.
But then it sounds too much like cousin.
Well, that's why because they're cousins. That's why she calls her cousin.
Yeah, but like, I
know.
know.
It's weird. I don't like it. I don't know why. It gives me weird
Incest
tangles.
Is wrong.
Yes.
Well, okay. I mean, actually, I might not agree with that completely.
I don't know, man. I'm not getting into that now. It's goddamn Christmas. I'm not talking about incest today. Yeah, and Fiona's presence is clearly taxing on our queen-to-be. Fiona meets the rest of our heroes and mentions that Stacy and Margie are the ones that switched places, so I guess it's just common knowledge that the switch happened in movie 1. I wasn't really sure, but it seems like now everybody knows the events in movie 1 happened, which will be weird later, but we'll get to that. Fiona then asks if they've switched since getting married to bang each other's men, which is something Isaac has been thinking about since the review started, and I know I'm fucking around, but she actually does ask, she, of course, asks it very obliquely, but she does ask if they've switched to fuck each other's husbands, basically.
Are you familiar with Roald Dahl, the author?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant's Peach, all kinds of great books.
Big fucking giant, yeah.
He also wrote... big fucking giant. He also wrote a lot of bawdy adult fiction.
No shit.
And I have a copy where it's like 4 like long like novellas kind of. And one is 2 husbands. They're like neighbors, and they decide to like swap wives without the wives knowing. So they like go over to each other's houses like in the dead of night and just disguise up and just end up fucking each other's wives. And it's hilarious, and it's this whole long convoluted thing, and there's a twist at the end that's wonderful, and it's called The Switch Bitch.
That's interesting. I had no idea he did that kind of stuff.
No, yeah, you should read it. It's great.
Because he writes delightful, if bizarre, children's books.
He was also a spy during World War II.
What?
Like a legitimate spy. Like in the United States. Like
That's
the British
amazing.
sent him over as a spy to like make political connections and find out what the fuck America was actually doing.
That's amazing.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, man, The Witches fucked me up as a kid. The book.
That
I don't think
scary.
I saw the movie as an adult and it did nothing to me.
No, the
but
book,
that book fucked me up as a child. Then fucking Fiona wanders off to get a drink after she's yelling for her minions. Margie explains to our hero group that Fiona squandered her entire fortune and now only has her 2 henchgoons left to her name. Oh, also a giant fucking mansion stuffed with treasures and fabulously old art all over the place. It's bigger than my entire apartment complex, but I forgot that rich people take everything for granted. Excuse me. I lived in a car for a couple of weeks. Isaac's been homeless since 1976.
I wasn't even born then.
Well, that's not what your autobiography says.
Well, I wrote that for the money and the bitches.
How's your wife?
I have one of each. 1 money and 1 bitch.
That's a Simpsons joke, isn't it? I wish I had 0. I have 3 kids and 0 money. I wish I had 3 money and 0 kids. So Tony comes up and tells Margie the Prime Minister is here, whisking her away to some meeting, while we see Fiona's goons are stealing wallets and watches at the party. The next day, inside of the gigantic, fabulous mansion that's so run down and terrible because she's poor and destitute, the goons are splitting up the loot with Fiona. I might call her Fiona. I think I wrote it wrong a couple of times.
That's fine.
I stopped
Sydney,
caring.
Cindy, whatever, what have you.
And Fiona is pissed they didn't steal more. The 3 of them are moaning about being poor sacks of shit, and eventually we see that Fiona starts to get the hints of an idea. Next day, Kev and Margie get together to leave for some kind of date. I think I missed what they were talking about. Margie is sad that her big finance meeting never happened. It did happen, but nobody asked her opinion during it, which bums her out since she studied really hard for it. But Kev assures her that one day she'll be respected and everyone will want to hear her opinion. Guess what we never see or have followed up on ever again.
I love when movies do that.
It happens all the time. Meanwhile, before they leave on their date, Tony pulls Margie away from Kev to an urgent matter that requires royal attention. It turns out that Tony is in fact proposing his love for Margie. He admits that he's been in love with her for some time and gives her a pretty necklace, but she's still kind of lukewarm towards his romantic attentions and just wants to keep being like friends and keep it professional. Probably because she's got a stallion outside ready to hit the road again, dick first, but hey, I mean... You've ruined me. You have ruined me.
That's my goal in life, is just cut a swath through the people around
me. Corrupt the poor, innocent youth like me.
I've turned my wife into a person who makes the most off-color jokes in the world. And she's so scared.
She was not like that when you met her.
She's so scared she's going to do it in public and not just around me. Like, she quivers at the thought of it.
Oh, I do it in public all the time. Who gives a shit?
She works at an international center, so she has to be politically correct.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but my influence on her is not good.
No, you should not be. She should have a restraining order against you.
Yeah, I think it's in the works. It keeps getting lost in the mail. I mean, and by lost in the mail, I mean flushed.
Anyway, Margie more or less puts the whole thing with Tony off so she can think about it, but really she has no intention of thinking about it. Later on, Margie and Stacy talk about it and just kind of reiterate shit we already know. Love those scenes. Stacy pushes the Kevin angle, but Margie says she's too busy to hop into his big manly arms and make sweet romance at him. See, I can PG it up. Fuck, shit, fart, shit, fart.
Slamming that OtterBox with his big cheese rod.
Slam that OtterBox with his big iPhone 20, now available for $399 at...
$399, come on.
Yeah, that was $3,999.
There we go.
Kev and Tony cross paths, and Tony basically gives the gentleman's warning that Kev needs to back the fuck off, since Kev isn't quote-unquote good for Margie, and pretty much just tries to be excessively English at him to scare him off so Tony can squeeze himself in to her vagina. Kev gets a bit shook by this, but luckily for them, Ultimate Doghouse overheard her dad's plight and brought the problem to Margie and Stacy. So I gotta speed this up. Fuck.
What is happening?
I know. Stacy wants to switch places again, so that Margie can get time to take Kev to the Royal Rumpus Room without interruption. I don't mean fuck, I just mean to actually go on a date. Margie, okay. I couldn't resist saying Royal Rumpus Room.
I know, it's a great name. We're redoing our bedroom right now. I'm going to get a sign that says the Royal Rumpus Room.
It's pretty good. Margie is hesitant, but Stacy counters that it was Margie's idea to switch the first time, and Stacy was the hesitant one. So they hatched their weird, overly complicated plan involving the daughter and the head housemaid, and eventually Margie agrees. We also get a scene with Stacy telling Kev about it, but I'm skipping that because it's the same thing, but the genders are reversed. Kev is hesitant, but agrees. Nobody thinks to tell Stacy's husband, Prince Edward, however. For some reason. Why wouldn't you fucking tell your husband, hey, I'm switching place with this woman who I don't think is your sister, but might be your sister. They don't tell him. And when he comes to talk to her about what she's doing, he comes to spend time with her, and she's like, kind of dodges it and plays it off as like, oh, I'm definitely not switching with Margie.
What the fuck, bro?
It's so dumb.
She
actively lies to him about it, about what she's up to. Like, he knows they switched before. We learned that. So what is the point of this? Does he know that they switched the first time? Does he think he's married to Margie? Maybe he just never knows. I don't know. Man, fuck you.
You picked this movie.
I hate myself so much it's impossible to hate myself anymore. So it's your turn for me to hate you. Vamp, I gotta choke. You know, while I was choking, I turned to look at the wall so I wouldn't be facing the microphone. And there's like I have the world's cheapest blinds up because I refuse to pay any money for this apartment. And they have like the cord, the cords that pull the blinds up and down. And there's a tag at the bottom. And it's for the things, it's a warning tag. So don't let your fucking children choke themselves to death in it. But gigantically on this tag is the word strangle. And nothing else. Like, there's other words, but you can see strangle from across the room. So I'm over here choking to death, just seeing the word strangle, and wishing I was dead. At the rundown, useless, shithole, garbage, gigantic manor stuffed with priceless relics from homeless villains, of our homeless villains. I don't fucking care. The villains continue to commiserate being, quote-unquote, poor, quote-unquote. Fiona tells her goons that after some banter, she has some villainous plan. To lay it out, she's going to pretend to be Margie by cutting her hair and practicing Margie's mannerisms. The goons are going to kidnap Margie. Fiona is going to push up the coronation, get crowned queen, transfer a bunch of money into an offshore bank account, and then just leave to a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty. This is what I mean. The plan is so stupid that it's like, it hit the tipping point in my head of, this is so dumb it's funny again. Because this plan has absolutely 0% chance of working. And it gets nowhere. But I don't know, I was just rooting for them. I don't know, they got me. Like, this movie, and so I love this collection of morons. This movie is ostensibly grounded in reality. Like, it's not one of those movies where everything is so off the wall that this is just par for the course. Like, this is real life Looney Tunes plan in action. It has no chance of succeeding. If anything, it would just annoy Margie, for like a day. And I'm paraphrasing the banter between all the villains, but it's low-level amusing stuff. And we also get an overly long scene where Fiona goes back to the palace to drop off a gift to, like, learn the royal schedule. Fuck it. Next morning, since again, to remind you, for literally no godforsaken reason, no one has told Edward that his wife has switched places with Margie.
Again, I can't with that.
Doing a fucking wife swap and no one tells him. So Underwater Dragon Ball has to distract him all day from ever talking to Stacy, who will be Margaret, while Margaret pretends to be Stacy. And Marlon Wayans is in the elevator while Penn Jillette narrates.
Thank God.
Anyway, for real now. Our two heroines do the switch, and we get a montage of them prepping to step into each other's shoes while Fiona learns how to act convincingly enough like Margie to pass her off for like the 6 hours she needs to pull off their Team Rocket scheme. The montage song beneath this is Candy Cane Lane by Sia, which is one of those songs that my girlfriend and I, it's like our Christmas song. So that was kind of amused me too.
Fair enough.
So I enjoyed that. Margie and Stacy swap rings and phone cases and jewelry, and the goons give Fiona lessons on how to be Margie. The three women practice their respective accents they need to use, which is entirely pointless because Margie never actually uses hers at any point. She just says in an American accent, "How's my accent?" And that's literally the only thing she ever says in American. Yes, in American. I know what I said.
Fair enough.
So they hug, and the switch is official, and their souls trade bodies or whatever. Stacy, now acting as Margie, gets confronted by Edward, who is asking her for advice about Stacy. Because, of course. So he is concerned their marriage has lost its spark. She never makes time for him, blah, blah, blah. She promises, as Margie, that everything will be okay, and she is sure that, quote-unquote, Stacy will make things right between them. So I guess that's the reason nobody told Eddie about the switch for this exact moment, despite this not being part of the actual quote-unquote plan.
It's hilarious.
I know, right? Eddie tries to go talk to Stacy, who said she would sleep off a headache all day. He gets intercepted by underappreciated Dolomite, who asks him to take her shopping so she can get her dad Kevin a gift for the holidays. I have put a lot of work into these unimportant daughter names, and you have laughed at only one of them, and I am very sad.
I'm sorry.
I know, it's fine. They're not funny, but I really thought that was a slam dunk. Oh, well. Stacy as Margie goes off and does royal duties, while Margie as Stacy goes to a closed-down Christmas village all alone with Kev to rekindle their relationship, which, to make a long story very short, they do. It's just generic Christmas lovey-dovey stuff. I'm going to skip it. They hash out their issues. They're a couple again, blah, blah. Kev's daughter and Eddie are shopping while she has to keep stopping Eddie from calling Stacy, calling him a helicopter husband, which sounds like a transformer that I wish I was. At night, Stacy, as Margie, is attending a children's Christmas concert while Fiona and her goons spring into action. By the way, in case I forgot to mention in the last 5 minutes, this all takes place in fabulous castles, just different ones now.
Castles everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Laden to the tits with Christmas decoration. The goons spring into action. The male goon sloshes wine on Stacy as Margie, and the female goon... Slashes wine on Stacy as Margie.
Okay.
And the female... it's about to get worse. And the female goon takes her into the bathroom to clean her off. In the bathroom, Fiona chloroforms Stacy, and the goons drag her to the van, while Fiona, now acting as Margie, takes her place.
Okay.
You on top of everything here?
No, not at all.
Good. Fiona is exceptionally rude to all her guests and does a shit job of playing off the nobles and leaves the party right away. Meanwhile, Stacy tries to tell the goons they kidnapped the wrong person, but they lock her in the extensive wine cellar of the useless, run-down villain castle. Why would anyone want to go into there? It's only got a wine cellar bigger than fucking this entire block.
It's so tacky.
In the royal suite, Fiona, pretending to be Margie, is trying on jewelry when Margie, pretending to be Stacy, returns. Prepare for a litany of very confusing sentences. Margie, as Stacy, tells Fiona, as Margie, who she thinks is Stacy as Margie, that she has never been more happy and is going to follow through with Kevin. Fiona, as Margie, thinks that Margie, as Stacy, is just plain old Stacy. But what she doesn't know is that plain old Stacy is now Margie as Stacy. So when Margie as Stacy says how great Kevin is, Fiona as Margie tells Margie as Stacy, thinks Fiona is Margie as Stacy is Stacy as Margie. What?
Larry.
I lost track of my own sentence.
Larry, what is happening?
Margie thinks that Fiona is Stacy, and Fiona thinks that Margie is Stacy. They both think the other one is Stacy, and neither one is Stacy.
Okay.
So Margie is confused as to why her friend is suddenly being an asshole. Fiona as Margie, figuring out that shit is all fucked up, decides the best way to make this whole thing work is to fucking double down and to tell Margie as Stacy to get the fuck out of the palace or she'll have her kicked out by the guards. And she just keeps doubling down until Margie just leaves because she has no other choice. And please remember, at no point does Edward have any idea what's happening. So I hope that all made perfect sense.
Yep, on board, 100%.
It's not like it broke down for me in the middle of the retelling or anything.
No, you haven't seen this movie twice.
Sure. Fiona Freak, I mean, it makes sense to me. It's just impossible to explain. Like so many movies that you give me, I did this to myself. God damn it, I did this to myself.
Yeah, you picked this one.
Fuck. Fiona freaks out and calls the goons to tell them they grabbed the wrong queen. They calm her down by telling her now she is effectively the queen and do whatever she wants. To which she says, like, oh yeah, I am. I better cancel that dinner with that loser Kevin because I guess she's evil and that's what evil people do. And Margie's just fucking wandering around outside, so I might as well do something about that. In fact, she goes straight to Eddie and lets him in on the secret that she isn't Stacy right after he tries to apologize to her for being a helicopter. There's a throwaway line here about apparently Stacy promised him that she would never switch again, but I feel like if y'all talk to him about it, you know, he might be able to work something out because the switch is only supposed to be for like 3 hours anyway. So really, I feel like this is pretty much like hey, we're going to switch for like an afternoon so Margie can go get plowed by Kevin. Be cool. There we go. I've done it. I fixed the whole movie. Oh, God. Okay. The head maid comes in, who was like the one monitoring the switch for the girls, and tells Margie and Eddie that Fiona, as Margie, has fired her. I haven't mentioned her, the head maid, because she hasn't mattered to the plot, but she has been like facilitating all the Switch stuff. She's been the one like covering their asses. And also there's a butler too. They're kind of like the good version of the goons that Fiona has, but they don't really matter. Margie reveals what happened, and they all kind of figure out what's going on with Fiona. After some very obvious fact-finding and sleuthing and information gathering, Kev comes to visit with Margie, who now, of course, is Fiona. Fuck. For some reason, I really don't understand. Fiona takes the time to tell Kevin politely to fuck right off. Like, I don't understand the motivation here. So Margie is supposed to have dinner with Kevin. Fiona is pretending to be Margie. So instead of just telling him like, hey, the fucking London Bridge is falling down, I can't come to dinner, she instead tells him, I never loved you, get out of my life, we don't want to have a relationship with you. Like, purely for drama. I guess she's a millennial and millennials are addicted to drama. That's the only thing I've got. Just say, I gotta go meet with a priest. I don't know, you're a queen. Who gives a fuck? Stupid. God damn it. So, yeah, Kevin is suitably heartbroken and decides to take urinary tract infection with him and leave the country. Also, Fiona has pushed the coronation to tonight so she can rob the bank sooner. In the broken down hellhole that is the giant evil mansion, Stacy is trapped in the basement and concocts an escape plan while uppity dork pistol gives her father the business for giving up on Margie and fleeing back to their gorgeous and fabulous cake shop in Chicago. The camera lingers for a long time on their cab driver and a jaunty tune plays while he's like talking to them. So I guess maybe he's Santa Claus? I think he's Santa Claus, Isaac. I think that's what they're getting at.
Does he have a beard?
No.
What? No.
We'll talk about the cabbie in a little bit. But the cabbie who's driving Kevin and his daughter around is like weirdly getting a lot of camera time, and like the way it's shot is indicating that he is supposed to be important.
Does he have any elf sneeze on his dick?
They don't show his dick. They do show his balls, and they were sneeze free, but the lighting was bad.
Well, yeah.
Margie
and you want the lube
Eddie,
on the shaft, not on the balls. That's just wasted lube.
Well, sometimes the lube falls down the shaft and hits the balls, man. Come on.
Yeah, I guess, but
not all of us wrap our balls in tinfoil like you do.
Hey, I just want to save lube because I'm cheap.
Yeah, use that tinfoil for some hot dogs later.
Honey, we only need a teaspoon. God damn it! I'm tired of spending money on lube.
You just give me the image of a man taking a teaspoon nude, partially inside of his wife, just nude, taking a teaspoon of lube, like an actual teaspoon from the fucking junk drawer, and just upending it on the head of his cock. Awful. Why do you listen to this show?
To get sex advice. Teaspoons all you need.
Come to the wrong place. Margie and Eddie, with the help they allow to speak to them, realize what must have happened, and the four of them head off to the evil villain manor to rescue Stacy. Meanwhile, upstairs, Fiona, pretending to be Margie, tells Tony they need to push the coronation up despite his protest. He cottons on pretty quick that this isn't Margie when he sees she has a small tattoo of Brendan Fraser's face on her pinky finger. So Fiona knows the jig is... What, Larry? Fiona knows the jig is up and drops the act, but it turns out that Tony has been a secret villain all along.
What?
I actually didn't see this coming because there's literally been no hint that he is anything but a jealous rival for her.
So is he in with them, or is he just a different villain?
He is a different villain. God. He like is seizing this opportunity to get cash.
Fuck, man.
This man at no point, he tells Fiona, she says like, why do you need to be in a scheme? You've got plenty of money. And he tells her like, I'm broke. My family's broke. No point before does that ever get mentioned or come up. This, like, for all intents and purposes, he seemed like he was a jealous rival with Kev for Margie's dirty Santa pillows. I mean breast. I mean affection.
Freudian nipples.
No, apparently he is broke and resentful that his line isn't rich anymore. So this whole plan the whole time was for him to also rob Margie. But there has been no hint whatsoever that he was going to flip at the actual drop of what might be the stupidest hat that has ever existed. So he concocts a plan with Fiona that he will help her do all the shit she needs to become queen for a day and blah, blah, blah. He does use the line Royal Exchequer, which has an X and a Q, which is a fucking baller word that I absolutely have to use in Scrabble again.
Fair enough.
At the villain manor, Stacy easily bamboozles her captors with a rolling barrel of wine and a Home Alone-esque trap. The male goon actually gets up and, like, rides the barrel on his feet like a classic villain.
Okay.
Instead of doing the smart thing and cutting her captors' throats and then leaving calmly with the fact that no one's going to be chasing her because that man is now dead, she instead runs away from him and, like, throws some baskets in his way. If you ever kidnap me, kill me. I will make your life hell. I will do everything in my power to ruin your existence before I die. I just want you to know that now. I will be the worst captive you ever take.
Don't tell them that,
also,
Larry.
Hey, this is also a deterrent. Because there is no one in my life who cares enough about me to spend a fucking cent on my ransom. And I will ruin your day as much as possible. Even if it's just ruining the carpet you throw me on.
What if it's like a Bob Berdella kind of thing who just wants to make you a little sex slave and torture you a bunch? And there's no ransom involved.
Then I will make it as miserable as possible that I possibly can.
All right, well, guess who's going to be whose sex slave?
Awful, Isaac. Awful. Awful. Awful.
Just, watch your P's and Q's.
So the Lady Goon tries to stop Stacy, but she pushes her into a trunk. The rest of the heroes arrive, and Eddie cold cocks the male goon right in the face, saving Stacy from her cruel fate of, being locked up for an hour in a extensive wine basement where she had food and wine.
How terrible.
The group celebrates, leaves the male goon to die in the snow because he's unconscious in the cold. He's probably blood bleeding into his head, so I guess he's just going to die. And they speed back towards the palace. At the coronation, Fiona and Tony put their evil plan into place, getting the Little England Pope and the Little England Prime Minister into the cathedral to validate the coronation. Meanwhile, we see that Kevin and his daughter are being given, the runaround by this cab driver. He, keeps missing the exit to the airport and, giving excuses as to why he hasn't got there yet.
Oh, right, it's Santa.
I'm convinced he's Santa Claus, because I don't know what else it is. I don't know what else makes sense. We'll get to it in a minute yet. Fiona's in the process of getting coronated, but keeps fouling up the words because she's a dopey moron idiot. When our heroes arrive, we have the big showdown. Margie challenges Fiona to a duel, drawing a rapier from somewhere, and Fiona says, "Not today," and jumps inside the Royal Gundam. Eddie transforms into a big sexy Gundam robot with tits, and there's a giant robot fight all over England, and it's great.
I'm not sure at what point that deviated from the movie, but I'm assuming pretty late.
Yeah, all they do is just argue with each other.
Okay. I was hoping the rapier would be involved.
No, that would be vaguely interesting. Margie tries to tell Tony that she's the real Margie, but Tony, like a fucking clod, tries to double down and have Margie arrested for treason. She is there with literally the rest of the royal household, you fucking nincompoop. Stacy steps in and tells her who she is, and the sheer volume of how many people there are calling the villains out, Fiona finally admits the jig is up, though she instantly blames Tony. Tony tries to schmooze Margie up, but for his treason and pretending to love Margie, she has him thrown in an actual fucking dungeon. She sends him to the dungeon. Those are the words that come out of her mouth. Take him to the dungeon.
Due process much?
I'm not sure the EU allows that, but hey, it's not my country.
Brexit, Larry. Brexit.
Well, it's not England. It's Belgravia.
Belgrexit.
Belgrade. Fiona tries to beg off punishment and says the truth is that she always wanted to be Margie and butters her up by telling her she was born to be queen, apologizes for behaving badly, and says Margie is the only family she ever had. Again, none of this was ever stated before. I don't know if it's just Fiona trying to roll a 20 on a deception check to get out of there. I don't know. Margie says she supposes she could ask the judge for a reduced sentence. Tony, however, will rot to death and eventually have to eat his own fingers and hair in the Little England dungeon, forgotten by time and doomed to rot.
What the fuck is the judicial system in this country?
Tony's dead. He's in that dungeon. He died. This is a true story. This is an investigation into his murder. Wrapping up, kinda. Fiona admits she sent Kevin away so she wouldn't be found out, even though, again, that was a very easily solvable problem. Our main characters take off to go chase after him, and Fiona just kind of pimps out of there because they leave her alone. Kev at the airport pays the cabbie, who swears to him that everything is going to be all right. And the cabbie drives away and, tips his fucking English cabbie hat. And as they leave, Kev stops to give the cabbie one last suspicious look as he drives off. And then Kev is like, no, it couldn't be. And then he, walks in the airport. Who the fuck is this cabbie? What the fuck is this interaction about? Is it Santa Claus?
He's a terrorist.
I don't know. Clearly he's, holding them up to get on their plane. But what the fuck? Who is this guy?
Does he look anything like Santa? Does he have white hair?
No, I think he might. He has a hat. I think he has white hair though. I don't.
But
remember.
no beard.
No, I'm only saying Santa because it's a Christmas movie. Maybe he was in the first one. But you think Kev would know him then because Kev has met all these. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't care. Our group of heroes catch up with Kev and ubiquitous Dungeon Master before they can get on a plane and take Kev far, far away from his one true love, Foevo. They explain to him what is going on, and Margie apologizes for the trouble, and they immediately reaffirm their love. Margie asks him to marry her, and after some nonsense, they decide to get married then and there in a filthy airport terminal where bored people go to watch porn while they wait for their flights.
Hey, that's where I got married.
Maybe that's just me. That was an airport terminal? Shit. Yeah. Didn't see one plane or one irate fat man.
Yeah, that's because we had you blindfolded the whole time.
You know, I thought the horse blind... You mean everybody wasn't wearing those horse blinders?
No.
You told me everyone was wearing those.
Yeah, of course we did.
Man, it's incredible how you edit them out of all the pictures. So, yeah, they snag a nearby priest and have him perform the ceremony. I'm skipping all this because it's generic junk. It goes on way too long, more or less without a hitch. Nothing worth a damn. They're married now. Hooray. The last scene is a coronation. Stacy and Eddie reaffirm their love for one another and promise to spend more time together and not let their careers interfere with their marriage. They're gonna fuck! I hate myself. The coronation starts. They play that song, Zadok the Priest. Thank you, Netflix's The Crown, for teaching me what that is. It's pretty epic. If you've never heard it, you should go look it up. It's worth listening to at least once if you've never heard it. It's like it's Zadok the Priest, Zadok. It is the coronation song, and it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. We see that all our secondary characters are in the crowd as everyone wishes her well on the queendom, where the kings bow down. Stephanie McMahon's thing. Also, she's being queened the Queen of Montenegro. I thought this country was called Belgravia.
Yeah, what?
I know I've been calling it Little England, but I'm confused as to what the borders of what country are where.
Yeah, we had Belgrexit.
But then I remember that I don't give a shit because the movie's over.
Well, fair enough.
Marge and Kev kiss in front of the crowd. Everybody's happy except for Tony in the dungeon, who's having a halberd shoved up his ass. And that's...
Jesus. What the fuck was that?
Overall, what to say about this? Go ahead.
What happened? I almost don't know what happened.
My next line I wrote down was, it happened.
Well, thank you. It happened.
I have no opinion on it. It is as generic Christmas movie schlock as they come. Dumb romance story that goes nowhere, cookie cutter as it gets. The villains were fairly entertaining, and my lord, if you like Christmas decorations, this is the movie for you. Again, I disagree with Google reviews here and other people that I thought the acting with everybody was fine. Maybe it's just maybe it's my bias from doing battles on Netflix, but I thought they were fine. I didn't get any vibes of being terrible from anybody. And I thought Vanessa Hudgens did a good job in the Fiona role compared to the other two roles she did. And like I said, she gets props for putting in the work for playing 3 characters in one movie. She's on screen in almost every scene. Like almost every shot of the movie, she's in it in one character or another. So I got to give her credit there.
She get 3 times the salary? How does that work?
I don't know. I'm guessing she got... Well, she's probably the biggest star in the whole thing. I'm guessing she got a higher salary for, I don't know how movie salaries work. We should do an episode about that one day. That'd be interesting if we can never find anything about it.
That's true.
I don't know. Overall, there was nothing much to say about this of value. It has weird plot threads that seem to go nowhere, or like opening bits to threads that never get followed up on. And maybe that stuff is from the first movie or holdovers from the first movie, so I can't really make educated guesses one way or the other with that because I didn't see it. The problem is that nothing happened. I don't need explosions to make me interested in a movie. I'm an American. I love explosions, but I don't need that. But like something has to happen, and there's nothing. The drama happens, and it's resolved in such a short period of time. There's no attachment. There is like nothing of substance to hang your hat on here.
Yeah. And is there any permanent consequences for anyone besides Tony?
No. And he becomes a villain after. Well, I'm going to say no foreshadowing. And I'll give myself credit. I think I'm pretty good at catching that sort of thing in movies for the most part. I didn't get that vibe from him at all. And maybe I'm losing my touch, but I didn't get the vibe that he was a villain. I thought he was just going to be a rival to Cap. Maybe I'm just expecting more of a romance movie and not Team Rocket. So maybe that's on me. But he becomes a villain, and then in the next scene that he is in, there's no in-between scenes with him. In the next scene he is in, he is then outed as a villain and goes to jail forever. The dungeon forever.
What a character arc.
So yeah, I mean, the only consequence is Fiona is like not gonna be, she's like gonna get leniency because she doesn't really do anything. Yeah. And Kevin and Margie are together now. Like, that's it.
What a consequential film. All
that said, I think this has a place. And I think that this is the ultimate background movie for a Christmas party with like 25 people. Because it's visually appealing. Because I said the set design is phenomenal.
Okay.
Everybody in it is gorgeous because of course they are. They don't have fucking people like me in it. It's snowing in every scene. Christmas lights up to the tits. if I was having a fancy Christmas shindig and for some reason I don't have a Yule log playing because I've taken leave of my senses, this would be the perfect background to throw on.
That's an
I would
interesting
never
point.
willingly watch it again, but like it is sufficiently Christmassy and sufficiently like unoffensive that
Right. Okay.
it's fine.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, I would give this a 3, and I waffled between 2 and 3, but ultimately 3 seems more appropriate because I really do like the crew of fucking Team Rocket. Like their slapdash plan was so absurd that for me it rolled around to being like,
Yeah.
you know what? I hope they pull it off. I hope those crazy kids pull it off. So I don't know. Christmas sucks. Watch it go. I'm done with it. See you in 6 months. Fuck this.
Well, yeah, we didn't pick horrible stinkers, either of
No,
us.
I mean, I didn't. You liked yours more than I liked mine, but I don't
Yeah,
think mine was
wasn't-
terrible.
Mine wasn't good, but
You said you're going to watch it again, which is a
I
crime.
said I might. It was a
You're-
4. A 4 isn't good.
No, a 4 is not good. A 4,
A 4 is above average for me on bowels. I'm usually a 2 or 3.
is the highest that I'm willing to allow without getting mad. Oh, God. Fucking Netflix. What else?
Oh, boy. Well,
I'm trying to pull up Netflix to fucking see what my next nail driven through my hand.
now,
Let's
since
not forget,
we're not
I am your
doing-
Christ.
We're not doing the whole month of July as Christmas in July. We decided that because Larry, of course, gave me Pootie Tang, which is going to be next week review. Fucking goddamn it!
That's going to be. I think that's going to be fun.
Now, Larry, do you know what our most listened to episode is by far?
No, Isaac.
It's interesting.
Isaac, I'm going to just tell you no. I'm going to tell you no because I know where this is going.
Yeah.
And the answer to your question is no.
Well, it's not a question.
Oh, the answer to your court summons is no. Our most listened to movie, if memory serves, you know how like you get a lump in your throat when you think about someone you care about when they die?
Yeah.
What do you call when you get that in your heart? Is that fear? Is that fear I smell?
It's called a
Memory-
erection.
Memory serves, our most listened to episode is Pop Star World.
Yeah, by more than a factor of 2. It is more listened to, double over than any other episode we've ever put out.
Isaac, I know that there's at least 2 other Pup Star movies.
One of them's a Christmas movie, so I really could have pup starred you one way or the other, no matter
I mean,
what
you
we did.
you still could, but
No,
I
we're saving
wish you
Christmas
didn't.
for Christmas.
Well, I know the Christmas one takes place after Pup Star World Tour, and I know it features Julio. I think it was Julio, who was my favorite dog actor of the first one because he was very
Favorite
talented.
Dog actor.
He's a
Fucking-
talented dog.
Jesus Christ. Larry, you're going to be watching Pup Star Better Together.
Ah, fuck me.
And we're going to pit Pup Star World Tour versus Pup Star Better Together and see how much the internet
I knew
how much
this.
the internet rewards us for going back to Pup Star country.
I knew this day would come, but it's here and I don't want it.
Yeah, well,
You know
Larry,
that scene at the end of Godfather when they're asking him if he rejects Satan? I reject him. I reject Pup Star
no.
2.
Pup Star 2 is in your heart along with Satan.
Fuck! Pup Star 2. No, No, let me start
Yeah,
over.
no, it's not Pup Star 2. Come on.
Pup Star : better number 2 get her. Returning Pup Star champ Tiny has her Yorkie paws full after an evil rival replaces her with street dog Scrappy during the national competition. Those are both, I know all 3
Yeah.
of the characters being referenced in that.
I'm glad you do, and it's been 2 years since you watched that movie.
I hate this.
That's,
I hate this.
Larry, I'm so happy.
I'm not.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
very upset.
Yep. This is how we become the next Joe Rogan. We got to give the people what they want, and they want Pup Star. And they want you to squirm under the Pup Star paw.
Well, here we are. I'm a man of the people. They get what they want.
Oh, boy.
Fuck.
That's going to be a fun couple of weeks, because I got me some Pootie Tang coming up next week. Larry's got some Pup Star Better Together 2 weeks from now. Tune in if you like to hear Larry suffer.
You know what's? Considering we're going back to a franchise that we've dabbled in before, I got a notification today that there is some. I don't know what it is. I didn't look at it yet because I had a busy. There is some new piece of Resident Evil franchise on Netflix as of today.
Oh, God. I know they're making it like a reboot movie.
I don't know what it is. I honestly, I saw it for a second while I was at work. I didn't have time to fiddle with it. But yeah, that is but that is another franchise we're gonna hit more of. We just need to have a bit of a buffer in between.
Yeah, we're gonna be going
Has
back.
Has it been 2 years for Zen's Pupstar, really?
Yeah, I think it was 2018, like 2.5 years. Jeez.
This is nice.
It's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
This is a reckoning. At least it's not Pupstar.
There's always that.
I think I'm going to have to listen to my review of Pupstar 3 and to remind myself and see if I think it's better or worse than Pupstar
2. I can't wait. I'm tickled. I'm tickled in my little pink hole.
For those of you who may not have listened to every episode, that was one we did a long time ago. I think it's in the 10s.
I think 17.
17, thank you. And that one was bad. I went a little off the deep end. That's one of the memorable episodes.
And by far our most listened to episode.
That is disgusting, and I hate you people.
And Larry, you should give yourself a little credit because the top 3 episodes are all your episodes. The one I behind the wheel at is number 4, and that's Don't Be a Menace to South Central. But we got the top 3 are Pupstar World Tour, Grand Mosty, and Little Monsters.
Great.
So you're top of the pops, Larry.
I mean, Grand Mosty, I don't remember. I remember that was episode 3. Also, I used my best friend's headset mic because my microphone broke literally seconds before I hit recording. It like fell or broke or wasn't working, so I had to borrow a headset mic. It sounds like absolute garbage. But yeah, no, Little Monsters also got me bad. So I'm glad you people like it when I'm just a sad sack. That's great. I have made great choices. No, but truly, I love you. I'm glad you guys are liking the show, and I'm sure Pupstar 2 is going to be a rough.
It's going to be entertaining.
And I know that Pootie Tang is a rough one because I fucking watched it for the Pals of Netflix of ages past. So.
Back in the dark ages.
Oh, God, let's get it over with.
We are the Pals of Netflix. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. We appreciate every one of you. Do the Facebook thing, do the Twitter thing, send us an email, balsofnetflix@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, all the social stuff. Tell your grandmother to listen to the show, or you're gonna fucking just rip her dentures out of her mouth and sell them at a pawn shop.
Christ.
Can you sell dentures? Probably not.
No. What are you on about?
You probably could.
You know, in this movie, the male goon of Fiona's Goons actually steals a pair of dentures.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't mention it because I just don't. There's not time.
That sounds stupid. All right. Stay tuned because we're going to be coming fast at you with some Pootie Tang and some Pupstar. And
yeah, I think this will be a good 2 weeks. For you, yeah. We'll suffer.
Oh, yeah. But we suffer for you. We're martyrs. Larry's your Christ, and I'm your Pillsbury Doughboy.
There's a pair of roommates I want to see. There's a sitcom I want to see.
Oh, God. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Smell you later from inside the dungeon that is my mind.